that?
Okay, you're on.
All right, let me call the New Canaan Inland Wetlands Commission meeting of Monday, March 21st to order. Will the secretary take the roll, please?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Mr. Stepanek,
Here.
Miss Jameson, here. Mr. Perkins,
Here.
Miss Kirby,
Here.
Miss Brunali,
Here.
Mr. Sillo,
Here.
Miss Ross,
Here.
Miss Sanford,
Beth Sanford?
She's here and muted. You can unmute.
Sorry, here.
she's here. Okay, and Miss Woike, I think she's absent.
She's absent. Let me have, since Penny, you may have to leave us at 8 o'clock. I'm going to have Beth. Beth, will you stand in for Peggy Kirby, please? She's not on yet, is she?
Yeah, Peggy.
I'm here, Dan.
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But we
I was a
don't need-
little
we don't
late.
need any substitutes, okay.
Right. Yeah, you're in good shape.
Wait a minute, hold it. There we go. Approval of the agenda. You all have a copy of the agenda. If there's no questions or comments or deletions, can I hear a motion, please?
I move approval.
Angela's going to approve. Second?
A second.
Who's that? George?
George.
George. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of February 28th. Again, if there's no corrections or deletions, can I hear a second? How about you, Anthony? You
Second, yeah.
You
And
making
I'm
the
going to
motion?
abstain because I missed that meeting.
Me too.
I missed it as well.
Okay, I'll move to accept.
All right, all right. So Anthony's making the motion and Penny is seconding it. All those in favor? Aye. Finally, site visit minutes of March 4th. All those, if there are no corrections or deletions, can I hear a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
I wasn't there. How many people weren't there at the site visit? Me, Beth and I weren't there, so all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Approved, okay. Open regular meeting, applications to be received and if complete, scheduled for regular meeting April 11th. This is not April 18th, this is April 11th. Application number 212235, 1218 Oak Ridge Road. Timothy Kurt and Donna Bissonette, map 41, block 38, lot 46, and 365 Luke's Wood Road, Grace Farm Foundation. This is the one that is received. This was the one will be held on April 11th. We need to schedule a site visit for this. We have two options. We have two options here. One is Monday, March 28th, or the second option is Monday, April 4th. Let's start with the 28th. How many people could make the 28th?
What day of the week?
That's Monday.
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 Sure.
We got one.
Is it
George,
in the
can you
morning?
make it?
It's in the
George?
morning? Is
7:30 a.m.
Can you
okay.
make it, George?
I'm not sure I will be at the meeting on the 11th. We had planned a vacation and I'm not sure if I'm getting back on that date. So I'm going to hold off on that at this point.
All right, so Penny so far. How about you, Anthony? Can you make it on the 28th?
I will double check, but I also have a vacation, so I will let you know.
How about you, Beth? Can you make it?
This
I
Beth
can.
can.
Beth, you cannot?
On the 28th, I can.
You can, okay.
Yes.
So Penny and Beth, Beth again, I'm sorry.
I can too.
You
Yeah,
get
I can make it.
3, Peggy,
I can.
4. I cannot make it. So we got 4, we got a quorum. What about the 4th? What about the 4th, April? Is that better for people? Peggy?
No.
No? I can make it on the 4th, I think. How about you, Penny?
I'm fine on the 4th.
You're okay on the
I can
4th?
also do the 4th.
That's 3. George, you know?
Well, since I'm checking on my wife's calendar. And we're gonna be out of town.
Okay. You can't make it, Beth? The 2 Beths? The
So I won't
first
be
I
able to
can.
make the regular meeting.
Beth
If it was on the third week, I could.
Bernelli? No?
I cannot make the 4th.
No,
I can, Beth Sanford can.
you can. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's tied 4 and 4, looks like. Let's go with the 28th. Let's try the 28th, okay?
I just have one question. Was there anyone who's doing the site visit on the 28th that's not going to be able to make the commission meeting on the 11th? So I had Beth Brunelli, Pete Ross, Beth Sanford, and Peggy Kirby. Those 4 will be at the April 11th meeting.
Yes.
Okay,
Is that right?
so I would probably go with the 28th,
28th.
knowing that those 4
And then
will be at the meeting.
the April 11th meeting, I may be a presenter in, just trying to find out through some things at the Nature Center of Buchanan, but I will probably not be able to be a commission member at that.
Sorry, I just checked my schedule. I do have a conflict that night. Probably the
On
only
the
time.
11th? Wow.
Yes.
And I can't make it
Don't
either,
worry.
I'm afraid.
We're gonna be out of town.
Let's go down the 11th. I can make it on the 11th. Penny, can you make it on the 11th?
Yes.
I'm gonna take the computer, but I'm
Angela, you can't
No.
not
make it.
gonna be really tuned into going to a meeting.
11th of what?
Beth, Stanford,
April.
you can't make it on the 11th?
I can make it on the 11th.
Beth Sanford, I have a
Sorry,
conflict.
you're talking about me? Sorry.
And Beth Bernelli, you can make it on the 11th?
Yes.
So that's 3 of us and 2 of us can't. And Anthony, can you make it on the 11th?
I think I may have to be a presenter in front of this commission.
Oh,
I-
that's George. What about
No, I don't have an application, Anthony, so you wouldn't actually be presenting April 11th for whatever it is you have going
Then I'm
on?
in. Then I'm in.
Okay.
you? You're in.
Like, I don't know.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. George, what'd you say?
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know. How about you, Peggy?
Yes, I can.
You can. So that's 5 for the 11th, so. So site
Right,
visit
so-
on the 28th and we got enough for the 11th, right?
So can I just make certain, on April 11th, I have Dan Stepanik, Peggy Kirby, Beth Brunelli,
Yes.
Beth Sanford, or no?
I have a
No.
conflict.
On April 11th, not attending the meeting, okay?
Mhm.
Penny Ross on April 11th,
Yes.
Yes.
so, and Anthony Sillo.
Yeah.
So you had 5 commission members available for April 11th with.
And George,
4
you're up in the air, is that right? George, are you up in
Just
the air?
unmute yourself.
No, we're gonna be traveling.
Oh, you're gonna be traveling, okay.
So I will have George, Angela. Who else? Let's see. Priscilla, we're not sure about Priscilla Wilkie, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so at least you do have 5 commission members for April 11th. You have 4 commission members for March 28th. I think that's what I'm coming up with.
Yes.
Is that in the morning?
Well, that's a site visit.
To the morning, because we gotta go to Yale on the 28th.
Um,
Are you okay, Kathy, on this?
As long as you have a quorum for both
Yeah.
applications, both the site visit, and it sounds to me we are at a quorum on the 28th. So that's full on committal from everyone. Beth Brunelli, Penny Ross, Beth Sanford, and Peggy Kirby. If
Why
for some
don't we do
reason,
this? If you can or can't make it, call Kathleen to let her know about the 28th, the site visit, okay? Make sure, please. If you can't make it, for sure, call her and say, I can't make it, okay?
I really
Even though
do need to
you
know.
told us right now, even though you told us right now, you can't make it, please just duplicate it, reiterate to her that you can't make it.
And it's important because there are the applicants and their consultants are all planning on being at this site visit that is being scheduled for March 28th. So I would need at least 24 hours in advance to know that if you're not going to make it, and honestly, that's actually a Saturday. So let's see.
No, it's a Monday.
I would need to know by Friday, that March 25th. So Anthony, on March 28th, are you not on that one? You're not able to do the site visit on March 28th?
Let me go, because I know it's pressing. Let me go and check with the bosses. I'll be right back.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay. I just, you can let me know. Sorry, Diana, you can see it's like herding cats when we're trying to get organized here for a very.
Oh, maybe we could go. Maybe we
No
should
problem.
go back to having meetings in person. It's kind of a little more efficient in some ways.
Well, I tried to put it on your, put it in the email to say, check your calendar and be prepared. But anyway, I know
March
everyone's
28th is
got,
good for me.
I'm sorry?
March 28th is good for me.
All right, so we'll add a 5th to the site visit on March 28th. Thank you, Anthony. That's very helpful. Okay. And then Dan, when you return, you'll probably be able to go.
I'll be back on the 3rd, okay?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you'll do most likely do a site visit on your own.
Yeah.
That's fine.
fine.
Good.
All right, moving along. Application number 21, 22, 28, 1018 Wheat Street. Agent Eric Rains. Eric Rains, Landscape Architecture.
Eric, I'm going to make you a co-host so you can share your screen.
Okay. Oh, so I'll pull it up. All right, hold on.
Yes.
Open.
You should be all set to go.
Okay.
Before you get started, Eric, I just want to let Pam Flynn know. Okay, she signed off already. We're good. No problem. Go right ahead.
Okay, I just want to show everyone what I have put together. Here's some survey information. If we have questions about it, we could reference that. Kathleen, I think this is what we supplemented with and you distributed.
Yes, if you could just back up and introduce yourself for the record and
sure.
the location where you'll be discussing, and then launch into your presentation there.
Certainly, yes, my apologies. I'm Eric Rains, a landscape architect working with Manir and Lisa Nahas, who are the owners of 1018 Weed Street in New Canaan. And in this site drawing represents the sort of the front portion of their property, and with the house being set back from the road, and then a drive leading up from Weed Street that passes through through and around this wetland area, both on the right side of the drive coming in and on the left side of the drive coming in. And then we also show here the setback line for the wetlands. So there are two things we'd like to do. One is seek your approval to, within the wetland and the buffer, both on the southern edge and on the northern edge, to remove plant materials like winged euonymus and things that continue to spread throughout the property, and just to get better control of that edge. And then within the property, through this area that has the tone here and the area that has the tone here, which is the wetland area, we would like to plant that with a mixture of native plant material primarily that would provide masses of seasonal color throughout the season and replace what in some instances is invasive material that's within this area. Currently, the front half of their property, from the way they see it, which I agree with, it's hard to make it look sort of kept and just by letting it sort of do its own thing. So what we're trying to do is introduce species that would aesthetically improve the front half of the front portion of the property, and also at the same time it would provide pollinator and habitat, and along with all the wetland environmental benefit that the plant material would have.
Eric, could I interrupt you for just a minute? Could
Yes.
anyone who's not speaking, please mute themselves, because I'm getting a decent amount of feedback, and there may be some background noise, and I think it'd be easier to hear his presentation. Thank you.
And within those areas, both on the north side of the drive and on the southern side of the drive, like for example, these masses would be various plant material that we specified, and those are identified and qualified on or quantified on the plant list. But then they would be separated with a gap so that maybe not all of these would exist, but some of them would be separated so you could actually walk through there and not only monitor as the new plant material is getting established, but also to use for recreational purposes if they wanted to come and walk through what would at various times of the year be very large masses of flowering perennials and grasses. We represented on the plan right down through here that as you see this line weaving through, and then it meets the existing driveway here, and then it's connected under the driveway with I think it's like an 8-inch or so pipe that daylights on the other side and then continues down in this direction. So during a rain event, a substantial rain event, that's sort of where where you actually see movement in the water. And unless it's a substantial rain event, there's really not a lot of water moving across the property. The area that's identified here is the wetland area. Kathleen, Mark Durkin is asking to join. Can I let him in?
Sure.
So I'll admit.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's, in my opinion, it's a really nicely functioning, environmental area where it's only in substantial rain events that you have water move in specific areas, and over the years as that has occurred, it does have like deeper sort of pockets that are right in here and then right around where the pipe that goes under the driveway is. So in those areas, we would like to use like a river stone, similar to a detail like this, where we take that lowest depression in the soil and line it with a river stone, so that because it's the one area where really no vegetation will grow. And we would like to line that with the river stone, and that would occur here and then here primarily as it goes under the driveway. So in addition to the perennial and grass proposals, is there are a few trees that we would like to to put in. And those are sort of more randomly spaced or scattered through here, and then more so here, and then some evergreens along Weed Street. And then, as we noted in the field, there are a few deciduous trees that are existing that have deteriorated over the years, and we're asking that those could be removed. Of course, the stumps would not be removed, but if we could cut them, then that would make way for the other plant material that we're suggesting. So that's the proposal, and I'd certainly be happy to answer any questions.
Mark, this is Peggy Kirby. I have a question, just with respect to the tree removal. Your plan looked great and your photos were super. When we were there, I know we talked about a couple of trees that you pointed out, and I think they're marked on your map. But then I think a couple of the commissioners, I think Anthony Sillo may have mentioned one that he thought was in bad shape, and you had mentioned something about that. Can you tell me specifically, or tell us specifically, how many trees you think you're going to have to remove?
At this point, we would certainly we would welcome further review with you all, but right now there's 3. There's this one, here, and here.
Okay. Thank you.
Certainly.
I think those are the ones that we were actually talking about in the meeting. The one along the road that's dead, and then the one, yeah, that one there. And if you go up a little bit above the wall, yeah, there, and there might be one smaller one, which is not a super big tree, but it's something that needs to be taken care of. Yeah.
Yeah, right in here.
And that's just, I just mentioned it just because of safety and,
Yeah.
So this is Angela Jameson. I'd just like to ask about the pathways that are shown here. You describe them as separations. Are they actually going to be paths where you actually put material down so that they're more walkable? Or how do you conceive those?
We would propose to use like a lower growing kind of grasses that would grow in there that you can walk on. They're not intended at all to be established paths. It's only on the occasion that they that they perhaps might want to walk through. My suspicion over time is that they'll fade into and go away, and there'll be single masses of everything.
Right. So you're not bringing any exogenous material in to put down to mark those pathways.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah, Eric, this is Dan. I'm going to qualify by saying I did not visit the property, so maybe this was addressed when I wasn't there. But the water that flows, it flows into a pipe near Weed Street. Is that right? Or flows into a drain near, right down there?
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, is there a pipe underneath Weed and it's picked up on the other side of the street, or is there a pipe on that same side of the street that it flows into?
As best I can tell, it seems to come under the wall and then go under Weed Street, down here at the corner of the property. It does not keep going, that's for sure.
Say it again, it does not what?
It does not keep going on the same side of Weed Street past this neighboring driveway.
I see.
So there's I couldn't really see what happens right here, but it comes under the wall when it's flowing, and it doesn't flow. Like I said, it doesn't flow all the time, but when it flows, it comes under the wall and goes underneath Weed Street.
But I would assume that pipe is used by other houses there, and especially when it rains. Do you know how big that pipe is?
I don't, and I would imagine that it would certainly collect any road runoff that would be occurring during a storm event on this side of the road.
Right.
but that's the course of it. It makes its way on the property until about here,
Right.
and then goes underneath and then under Weed Street.
This is,
When it goes underneath weeds, is that by the land trust in there? Is it down that far? You know, the trail that they have?
Let's see here. How did I do this?
Because we've had some issues with water in that area, okay? And, but it was mainly the house, I believe, pretty much across the street that there were some issues with. But it looks like it might not be that pipe that was used there.
I think there's actually, I was just trying to look on this vicinity map here and see how much, oh, that's just the concept for the key. I believe you can see the beginnings of like there's a stone wall across the road here. And that stone wall continues. So I believe it goes onto not a land trust property, but alongside of a residential property.
And this is George Perkins. Do you have any idea where this comes out? Does it flow out like a culvert into another area? Or is there a potential for a backup?
To the best of my knowledge, there's not been a backup. The only time that water actually flows is in a substantial event. So so there's a lot. So during those events, there's more water coming across the site. But the year plus that I've been involved on the property, I've not seen water back up onto the property.
Again, Peggy Kirby, in any event, Eric, what you're proposing on this property isn't going to change the flow
No,
or amount of the water, correct?
no, we're no.
This is Penny Ross. Is everybody through with the water flow? Because my interest is in something else.
Go ahead, Ken.
Okay, so Eric, maybe I was on the site visit. Maybe I was not being observant enough, but the cross-hatched area at the bottom where it says invasive shrub removal down at the bottom, did we refer to that when we were on the site visit? I just remember.
Oh, my apologies.
That's not my dog. So I just remember us talking about the shaded cross-hatched area at the top of the schematic. So at any rate, looking from Weed Street, we were talking about Euonymus alata, which is a terrible, terrible plant. People love it because it's called burning bush. And believe it or not, I saw it for sale at Home Depot the other day, which, it's on the Connecticut list of no sale, I think. But at any rate, so I saw only one of them in what I'll call the top section. So maybe there are more in the bottom section, but when Beth Sanford asked about invasive plants, that was the one that you mentioned. I did see in the top section some greenbrier, which is a native plant. So I guess the other stuff that is now bare branches, you can't really tell or what it is, but there was a lot of little bare shrubby, like not saplings and stuff, but it would be interesting to know for us, like specifically, I guess Anthony and Beth Sanford and I are, know quite a bit about native plants, what exactly was in there. I have to say, I think this project is going to turn a liability into an asset. So I think it's a great project. But, it just seemed to me that I know it's hard during the winter to identify things that are bare branch, but it would be good to know what was in there other than euonymus. So that's it.
Any comments, Eric?
Yes, we can, I seem to recall that we referenced the both edges of the property when we were there. And I certainly recall the euonymus comment, which is more prevalent. The euonymus is more prevalent on this edge, and it actually goes all the way up the property.
Yeah. I did see it when I drove down Weed Street.
Right. Up here, there's some vine growth that is taking over, as some of the plant material up in here. I'd be happy to further identify the vegetation that's in this area, and because our objective certainly isn't to remove things that are beneficial, and then that way we would have a more of an inventory of what's in here and also what's in here.
Good.
So
You also-
just, go ahead.
Okay, you also mentioned in the sort of, watery area, creeping Jenny, and I wonder if it was like yellow flowering plants, I wonder if it also might be less for celandine, which is a really terrible plant that I deal with. But, creeping Jenny, you wouldn't see it at this time of year growing, so.
No, you wouldn't see it now. But like I said, we've been sort of pursuing this now for over a year.
Oh, okay.
And so I've gotten to see it, and I'm not there every day by any means, but I've gotten to see it, and I definitely observed some, some particularly right in here with some of the creeping Jenny.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Sure.
Anything else? Kathleen, do you have any comments? Kathleen? No.
No, I think in general, I think I think Penny hit it quite nicely. It is going to be an asset to the property should the whole landscaping plan come to fruition. I think Eric's offer to provide an inventory of some existing plants are within the work area is a good option to document what's currently there and what you would like to see remain. I think that's an excellent possible special condition. And the other special condition that I had thought about is upon full planting and restoration of the area, a final review by the landscape architect should provide a report to the commission that indicates kind of what was done and that it's a success or what conditions they found upon the final inventory and implementation of the plan. I think overall it's very good. Dan, to go back a little bit to the drainage or the water questions, there is no change to the drainage that's going to be happening at this location. So the water conditions will remain like they're currently existing. Things will flow like they flow throughout the existing conditions on the property. So there should not be any change. Most likely the water goes on its way into some sort of Weed Street basin or drainage system and down eventually through lower Weed Street. So I'm not really concerned about that, but it was a good question to ask and try to that out a little bit further.
Peggy, are you okay with the trees that are going to be cut down? There's 3, I guess, right?
I am, and they were pointed out. I just wanted to make sure that there were no additional ones.
No. Okay. Any other questions, comments? Raise your hand if anybody's got anything, or speak up. No questions? Anthony, you okay with this?
I'm all good with it. I mean, I think that we all hit it pretty good. And I mean, the trees was more of a safety issue than anything else because they were the 3 that he's proposing are dead. I think that the planning plan that he has and the plan to deal with some of the invasives are good. I think that'll also help with the water situation. I do think it is a well thought out plan. I think that point that you brought up about the culvert going under the driveways is important, but I think that the new plantings will help that with absorbing some of that water. And I think if anything, it will help the situation. So I think it's a good plan, and I think it's well thought out.
All right, thank you. Eric, how long have you been working on this?
We have probably a year. I would say it's coming up on a year. I remember being there last, was it Memorial Day? So last fall, yeah. So it's a little over a year.
So you've been there through all 4 seasons, in other words, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And just Dan, just for your sake, one of the advantages related to the water that, just to point it out, and we talked about it briefly when we were on site, this pipe that goes under here is, it's small enough that it sort of automatically regulates the water. So if there is a large rainfall, this area, we see a lot of water. And then because of this is sort of a smaller opening, it slows it way down. So it doesn't automatically transfer everything downstream, which is a good thing. And we're not changing any of that.
Did you look at the pipe? Is it clean and everything?
Yep, it's flowing.
Okay, all right.
The one question I did have, which I just remembered while we were talking about this pipe, we said that we were going to do, you guys were talking about doing some stones to kind of open up that area, not even open it up, just make it a little bit cleaner, because it does have some silt, a little bit of blockage. I mean, when we looked at it on site, I mean, it seemed like a fine idea. I just wanted to see what any commission members have thought about that. But I know that we've all talked about it on site. It seemed better than worse to deal with it.
Yeah, after our meeting, just as everybody's thinking, after our meeting, we added the graphic of where that river stone would be generally. And it's right in here.
So that's basically just widening up the mouth of that culvert, correct?
Yes.
Just on the sides, hand installed, obviously, nothing bigger than,
No. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine with me. I mean, I saw it, Dan. I mean, up to any other commission members, but I know we walked through it there.
Good, good. All right, since there's no other questions, can I hear a motion? Any special conditions, Kathleen? Nothing, right?
I had potentially mentioned 2 special conditions, one of which was Penny Ross's discussion regarding the plant inventory of what's existing in that area. And the second one would be a final report from the landscape architect upon completion of the project, that report be turned into the Inland Wetlands Department.
Those are good ones, yeah. You can do that, right, Eric?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Well, this is Penny Ross again. The day that we were there, Eric, we were pointing out, or I was pointing out, and you and I were pointing out some sedges that are they actually going to remain, or are you going to? Oh, that's terrific.
Yes, we're not. I mean, the objective of the whole approach isn't to completely eradicate everything that's there. It's more about identifying what's undesirable and then working with what's there.
Good.
All right, can I hear a motion?
I'll move to approve with the 2 conditions, that the plantings be identified and documented, and the ones that are remaining listed, and the ones that are being removed listed, and that the final report from the landscape architect be done and submitted to Inland Wetlands.
Second.
All those in favor, raise your hand.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion's carried, Eric. Thank you very
Great.
much. Yep.
Thank you. Have a nice evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eric. I missed who did the second. I'm sorry. I was writing minutes.
Anthony.
Anthony, thank you.
Okay, application number 212229, 320 North Wilton Road. the applicant is now trying to get a cost on dredging the pond, which would be in addition to, what he applied for before. So he doesn't have that cost, and apparently he's going to add it to the application, and we'll likely hear this in April, on April 11th, right, Kathleen?
That is what he has indicated in the email, that they would like to investigate possibly dredging the pond in addition to the other activities. And I guess we can stay tuned right now. So they asked to table the application for tonight and continue it to a future date. We may go beyond April 11th, because I think it will take them a little bit time to pull together the drawings and the items that you would need in order to review the additional activities regarding a pond dredging. So I don't know if it will be April, but I will certainly let you know as soon as I know and get any additional information. I'll put it into the online folders and let you know that it's there.
All right, good. Thank you. Agent report, administrative actions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kathleen, anything you want to highlight on any of these 5?
No, I think there's the usual tremendous amount of activity going on with various projects ranging from all sorts of things. Nothing is standing out here. They were all vetted with the various department reviews and site visits and all the reports and whatnot that comes in with these types of applications. And I am just reporting them to the commission to let you know that's what's been going on the last month.
So
Okay.
I have a question relating to Turtleback Road, and I'm just intrigued. The plan shows a new septic system, but they're not going to build it. Is that right?
So Turtleback Road, they have to show a co-complying area for a septic system. They do have the barn that's allowed by the public health code to be tied into the existing septic system at that location. All of those permit approvals were reviewed by the health department, and the special approval from the state health department is included in our wetland folder from the health department as forwarded. Does that answer your question?
Well, are they building a new septic system or not? It's just a little unclear to me.
No, they are connecting the plumbing from the proposed barn into the existing septic tank for the main structure.
Okay.
And they got that approval through the health department
Right.
state review.
So they're just getting a B100, Kathleen, I would imagine?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, they had to show where they can put in another
Yep.
septic system should the current one fail.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you. That answers my question.
Any other questions there? All right. Number 14. Chris Shipper, who you all know is chairman of the Conservation Commission. I was asked to, I don't know if he was asked, but wrote a letter to the editor on the oil slick in the bird sanctuary. And Kathleen helped him out by doing some research on the letter. And I just thought maybe Kathleen want to give us some background on this and help us out.
Some of you will recall that we did have an incident, unfortunately, that ended up with some oil reaching into Bristow, a bird sanctuary. Over the course of the investigation and the cleanup efforts, Chris Shipper felt that it was important to do some educational outreach to the public at large. So he did put together a letter to the editor to, make people aware that, don't let this happen to you. It could happen, and that to check your oil tank and things of that nature. In addition to Chris's letter to the editor, there also was a educational piece done by our fire marshal's office that went over, again, being aware and cognizant of, if you have an oil tank, how to maintain it and keep it, hopefully from preventing what happened recently here in New Canaan. But the bottom line is that incident has been completely mitigated by the efforts with Department of Environmental Protection Agency overseeing all of the activities that took place there. And we are, the town, they will continue monitoring on a periodic basis, but the oil and everything is no longer, thank goodness, making its way down to Bristow. I think things have pretty much returned to previous conditions, which is good news.
Kathleen, do you, and I'm out of town, has the letter to the editor by you and Chris Schiffer been published?
I didn't actually check the paper last week for the
Okay.
letters to the editors. Did anyone see it? I meant to try to find it at work. Honestly, I couldn't find a paper, so.
Okay, all right.
But
I
he
don't
may
think
not
it-
have, he may not have made the deadline, but
I don't think
that-
it was in there. I didn't
Okay.
see it. No.
so it could be coming in shortly. But Chris did a nice job with trying to provide some additional education around this particular environmental incident.
Great idea.
It is, yeah. Okay, that pretty much wraps up the meeting. Any other business? Anybody want to discuss anything before we adjourn? All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Angela? Peggy's going to second it. All those in favor? Aye.
All right.
We'll see you on, we'll see you on April 11th, okay?
Hey, everybody.
Good to see you guys.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.